Ladies and gentlemen, friends and seekers of purpose, maybe you feel adrift right now, disoriented, uncertain, restless. That feeling is real, legitimate, and not to be ignored. You are not alone, and this is not the end. It's the beginning of something far greater. Life isn't merely about ticking boxes, paying bills, meeting deadlines, getting promotions, only to wake up one day wondering, is this all there is? When you're lost, it's not just inconvenience, it's a soul-level condition. The ache you feel matters, and so does the answer. Deep inside, you know there's more. A whisper within says, you were made for significance. You weren't created merely to clock in, punch out, write emails, or sit behind a desk. You were designed to create, to build, to bless, to love, to leave a mark that outlasts your days. Work then becomes more than work. It becomes worship. When work shifts from being a chore to being your calling, something born from the deepest part of you, a transformation happens. You begin to ask not, what do I have to do, but what do I get to do? You craft excellence because it's an offering, not for applause, but for impact. Finding clarity begins with asking, why did I choose this direction? Why do I wake up each morning? What legacy am I building? Your why becomes your anchor. With your anchor in place, storms cannot shift you, detours can't derail you, and days of doubt cannot destroy you. Here is a 5-step process to realign your life and work. Reflect on what truly energizes you, what brings joy, justice, growth, connection. Release what distracts you, tasks that steal energy but produce no value. Reconnect with meaningful mentors, writers, voices that inspire. Reframe your daily tasks in terms of impact. Whose life does this touch? And renew your mindset each morning with a moment of stillness, gratitude, clarity. When you shift your heart, attitude follows. Work is no longer about surviving through coffee and exhaustion. It becomes a stage where your values, vision, and virtues play out. You lift others. You build culture. You shape good into something beautiful. Yes, fear will come. Failure may knock. But these are invitations. Fear says, stay safe. You respond, I'm not built for safe. I'm built for brave. Failure says, you can't. You respond, watch me try again. Uncertainty, that's the canvas of possibility. Where God paints new masterpieces, that's where miracles emerge. Countless individuals have risen from despair to destiny. The once aimless soul who discovered a calling that lit up a community. The worker trapped in routine who woke up and led movements of compassion, innovation, and service. Your past doesn't define the rest of your days. It informs your empathy, shapes your strength, deepens your vision. In the rush of emails, social media, news cycles, voices compete for your attention. But above them, a still small voice offers wisdom. You listen not through rushing, but through quiet. A 5-minute pause, a walk outdoors, a moment of gratitude. That voice speaks eternal truth. Come home to who you were made to be. Excellence begins with the next step, the next email, the next call, the next task. Done with care, humility, integrity. That's how greatness is built, not in grand gestures, but in faithful service in the ordinary. The cup of coffee brewed with kindness. The message sent with compassion. The project accomplished with integrity. When you operate out of identity rather than income, I'm valuable already. This is how I steward that. Work becomes less about earning and more about becoming. You're a light, not a ledger. Picture a circle radiating from you. Family, colleagues, neighbors, strangers. When you align with purpose, your life becomes catalytic. You encourage others. You solve problems. You create beauty. You may never hear every thank you, but the impact echoes. Even if your goals haven't been realized yet, trust the invisible process. Seeds planted in darkness take time to sprout. Mistakes refine. Delays are redirecting agents. The unseen preparations are shaping eternal assets.
Fear,
Comfort, approval from others, old stories. I can't do that. Challenge those lies. Fill your mind with possibility. If not now, when? If not me, who? Talk to someone who's walked this path. Surround yourself with people who dream and do. Here are daily practices to build momentum and sustain clarity. Start each morning with a few minutes to ask, how can I love today? How can I serve? Each week, review what energized you, what drained you, where you're heading. Once a quarter, take a half day to reflect, realign, and rest, and stay close to people who hold you accountable to the best version of yourself. Purpose isn't possession. When you give time, talent, treasure, you escape work-driven acquisitiveness. You see people, not paychecks. You build community, not just capital. Generosity unlocks joy. You may feel lost, but you don't have to walk alone. Lean into relationships, friends, colleagues, faith groups, coaches. Let others speak encouragement. Let others sharpen your vision. Let others bear burdens so you can keep moving forward. There are seasons in life when work. Some seasons invite growth. Others call for rest. When you feel lost, see, maybe this is your pause for planting, not your season of harvest. Trust the timeline. Embrace the wait. Frenzied ambition hustles for titles, salaries, recognition. Purpose-driven alignment builds character, contentment, service, significance. Which would you rather be, well-known or deeply impactful? If you believe there's greater meaning behind the scenes, if your work has eternal echoes, then every task becomes sacred. Washing dishes, teaching a class, answering a customer. These become spiritual acts when done with love, integrity, excellence. Many give up just before the breakthrough. They stop when momentum builds. They resign when their vision is about to take shape. Don't be average. Press on. One more day. One more call. One more act of faith. An anchor of hope holds steady. This is not the end of my journey, only a turn toward unfolding destiny. Hope motivates, energizes, sustains. When roads are dark, hope whispers, keep walking, light is ahead. One day you look back. What will your story say? That you drifted, settled, vanished, and left nothing? Or that you discovered purpose, served others, built something of lasting value? You decide today. So wherever you stand, uncertain, hungry for change, hear this call. Pause. Pause and listen beneath the noise. Reflect deeply and ask, what is my deeper purpose? Plan small steps. Just the next one. Partner with others who believe in growth. and pursue excellence in the ordinary now. Let this moment mark a pivot from lostness to clarity, from confusion to calling, from work as burden to work as worship. This change in how you see life and work will transform you, and through you, transform others. You were never meant to drift. You were meant to anchor, build, bless, and fulfill. When your work is rooted in purpose, discovered deep in reflection, and lived out daily, every aspect of your life changes. Your attitude, your impact, your legacy. Take heart. The journey from feeling lost to living purposeful begins with one courageous step. Walk it today and watch how everything changes. When you feel lost in life, it can be unsettling. Like standing at a crossroads with no map, no signs, and no direction. It's easy to assume something's wrong with you, that you failed, or that everyone else has it figured out while you're falling behind. But what if that very feeling, the ache, the confusion, the discontent, isn't a sign of defeat, but a sacred signal calling you to something deeper? Being lost is not a sentence, a punishment, or a dead end. It's a pause in your story, a space between chapters. It's what happens when your soul realizes that what once satisfied no longer does, and something new is being stirred within you. Even if you can't see it clearly yet. You might be doing all the right things, working hard, showing up, keeping commitments, yet still feel like you're drifting. That's not because you're broken. It's because your soul is craving alignment. The routine that once gave structure might now feel empty. The goals you once chased may no longer match your values. That inattention is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's the voice inside you saying you were made for more than this. Sometimes we need to feel lost to recognize how much we've been living on autopilot. Getting lost forces us to slow down, to ask questions we've avoided. Who am I really? What am I chasing? What truly matters? In the silence when nothing makes sense, a new vision can begin to form. Not rushed, not forced, but revealed. You don't have to have all the answers. The beauty of being lost is that it breaks the illusion of control and invites you to trust the process. Often it's in the wilderness where character is forged, where deeper truths emerge, and where you begin to reorient your life around purpose instead of pressure. So if you're feeling lost, don't panic. Don't retreat. Lean in. Pay attention. Ask deeper questions. This is not the end of your story. It might just be the most honest, necessary beginning. Something sacred is being rewritten. Something stronger is being rebuilt. You're not off course. You're being invited to find the one that's truly yours. Work was never meant to be just a paycheck, a transaction of time for money, or a series of tasks performed to survive another month. Yet for so many, that's exactly what it becomes, a grind, a countdown to Friday, a means to an end. We learn early that success is measured in titles and salaries, that work is something to tolerate, escape from, or retire out of. But deep within, there's a part of you that resists this definition. You were made for more than just earning a living. You were made to make a difference. From the beginning, work was designed to be creative, meaningful, and life-giving. It's not simply about productivity, it's about purpose. It's how you contribute to the world. Whether you're building something with your hands, leading a team, serving a customer, raising a child, or writing code, your work has the potential to be a reflection of your deepest value. When your work aligns with your convictions and your gifts, it becomes more than obligation. It becomes a form of offering. But it takes courage to see work this way, especially in a culture that trains us to equate success with how much we earn or how fast we climb. True work is not about proving your worth, it's about expressing it. You don't work to become valuable, you work because you already are. That shift changes everything. It means you bring meaning into your work, not the other way around. Even in roles that seem small or unnoticed, purpose can thrive. Or a kind word to a coworker. Integrity, when no one's watching. Excellence in tasks others would dismiss. These are not minor. They are seeds of something eternal. When you show up fully, when you offer your best, when you use your work to serve others, you are living out what work was always meant to be. You may not be in your dream job. You may be waiting for clarity. But the truth remains, your work matters when you approach it with purpose. Don't settle for a paycheck when you were created for impact. Let your work become an expression of who you are and what you stand for. Not just how you earn, but how you live. In a world obsessed with efficiency, output, and constant hustle, it's easy to believe that your value lies in how much you produce. Productivity becomes the badge of honor. Hours worked, tasks completed, metrics achieved. But beneath the surface of all this doing, a deeper question lingers. Purpose comes before productivity. Without it, all your effort becomes motion without meaning. You can be incredibly busy and still feel profoundly empty. You can meet every deadline and still feel off course. Because productivity in and of itself is not the goal. It's simply a tool. And when that tool isn't guided by purpose, it can lead you to burnout instead of fulfillment. Purpose is the reason behind the work. It's the compass that gives your actions direction and significance. When you're clear on your purpose, on what you're called to build, change, serve, or stand for, your productivity becomes focused and fulfilling. You stop chasing everything and start committing to what matters most. Think of it like this. A person with no clear purpose might run harder and faster, hoping that increased speed will lead to clarity. But a person with purpose can walk slowly and still arrive exactly where they're meant to be. Purpose gives weight to your choices. It tells you what to say yes to, and just as importantly, what to say no to. Living this way doesn't mean you'll always feel motivated or that every day will be easy. But it does mean that your work, even the hard or hidden parts, fits into a larger story. You're not just checking off boxes. You're building something that matters. You're contributing to a cause, shaping lives, modeling integrity, or bringing beauty into places it's been missing. This is why you must return to purpose before you organize your schedule or set your goals. It's the foundation. Without it, even your greatest accomplishments might leave you feeling hollow. With it, even the smallest actions can be deeply satisfying. So before you ask, what should I do today? Ask, why do I do any of this at all? Let that answer guide everything else. Because when your productivity flows from purpose, you're not just busy. You're impactful. You're not just moving. You're moving in the right direction. It's easy to overlook the ordinary. We often wait for grand moments, big breakthroughs, or public recognition to feel that our work has meaning. We think purpose only lives in bold, visible achievements. starting a company, speaking on a stage, creating something revolutionary. But that belief quietly erodes our sense of value, because the truth is, ordinary tasks, those small, unseen, daily moments, can carry eternal impact. The conversations no one hears, the quiet faithfulness, the way you treat people when no one is watching, these are the building blocks of legacy. Your life is not only shaped by what you do when the spotlight is on, but by the decisions you make when no one is keeping score. A kind word in a tense meeting, a calm spirit in a stressful moment, the decision to go the extra mile not for praise but because it's right. These actions might seem small, but they are sacred. The world often measures success in numbers and applause, but the things that truly last are rarely counted that way. You can't quantify patience. You can't chart a graph of grace, but you can live in a way that changes the atmosphere around you, softens hearts, restores hope, brings light to someone else's darkness. That kind of impact is eternal. It's also empowering, because if eternal impact only came through major life events, most of us would feel disqualified or left behind. But when you realize that even your most routine moments can matter deeply, you start to live with more intention. You stop waiting for significance and start bringing it. You begin to show up fully in every role, employee, parent, friend, neighbor, knowing that how you show up matters just as much as what you do. There is dignity in every honest task done with heart. Folding laundry, writing an email, teaching a child, leading a meeting, sweeping a floor. When done in love, in integrity, in excellence, these are not just tasks, they are opportunities to reflect life, to serve with joy, to shape a better world one moment at a time. So don't despise the ordinary. Don't rush through the routine. Fill it with purpose. Fill it with care. Because in the end, it's the seemingly small moments, done consistently, done with love, that echo the loudest through time. Courage and clarity are not separate destinations. They are companions on the journey of a meaningful life. Often we wait for clarity before taking a step, hoping to see the entire path, the outcome, the guarantee. But clarity doesn't always come first. More often it arrives after we begin to move, after we choose courage in the midst of uncertainty. Taking action without full understanding is terrifying. It feels risky, even foolish. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act anyway. And here's the quiet truth. Every time you act in courage, no matter how small the step, clarity follows. Not all at once, not in lightning bolts, but gradually, like light rising at dawn. You begin to see what you couldn't see before. You might not know what's at the end of the road, but when you take that first step, apply for the job, speak the truth, start the project, set the boundary, you tell fear it doesn't get to be the driver anymore. That choice reveals what matters to you. And as you keep choosing courage, your values sharpen, your direction becomes clearer, and your voice grows stronger. People often assume they have to wait for a sign, a perfect moment, or a feeling of certainty before making bold moves. But if you keep waiting for the fear to go away completely, you'll stay stuck. What you really need is just enough courage to begin and trust that clarity will grow as you keep walking. This also means that mistakes aren't setbacks. They're revelation. When you try and fail, you learn, you discover what's not for you. You refine your vision. The process itself brings clarity. not through perfection, but through movement. Courage trains you to act, even when the path is foggy. Clarity shows up through the doing, not just the dreaming, and together they create momentum. They form the inner strength that leads you toward a life that aligns with who you truly are. So if you're waiting for everything to make sense before you act, don't move forward in faith. Take the next small step. Be brave with what you know right now. And trust this as you go, the path will unfold. And you'll become more than you ever imagined because you dared to begin. You aren't put on this earth to simply exist, to wake up, go through the motions, pay bills, scroll through your phone, and repeat until time runs out. Deep down, you already know this. There's something in you that aches when life feels flat or aimless. That quiet discomfort is not weakness, it's a reminder. You were created for impact, not just existence. There's a reason your heart stirs when you hear stories of people who change lives, who heal, who build, who speak truth, who serve others without needing applause. It's because something in you recognizes that same potential. You may not feel extraordinary. You may not be in the spotlight, but none of that disqualifies you. In fact, the most lasting impact often begins in ordinary places, with ordinary people who dare to live with intention. Impact isn't about being famous. It's about being faithful to your gifts, your values, your corner of the world. It's about seeing people, lifting them, choosing kindness when it's easier to be indifferent. It's raising your children with love. It's creating something that makes life more beautiful or more bearable for someone else. Every person you interact with is a chance to leave something better behind. Hope, dignity, encouragement, clarity. We live in a time where we're told to chase happiness or find success, but what if your real calling isn't to chase anything at all? What if it's to become something, someone grounded, someone true, someone willing to live for more than just comfort or validation? What if the life you're meant to live is one where fulfillment isn't found in status, but in service? Your impact doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be global. It only needs to be true. You have a specific voice, a unique lens, a set of experiences no one else carries. You've survived things. You've learned lessons. You've loved deeply. These are not just memories or scars. They are seeds. When you plant them into others, into your work, into your community, they grow into something far greater. So don't settle for existence when you were designed for meaning. Don't coast when you were made to contribute. Whether you touch one life or many, your presence here has weight. Choose to make it count. Choose to make it beautiful. Choose to leave this world different because you are here.